Hey, everybody. I am so super excited. It is December 31st. Oh my goodness. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. I have exciting news for you to share. So come in, take a seat, pull up your chair, get some coffee, and let us chat. I am excited to let you know about my new book launching. So I am Dr. Stacey Yeager, and I am a big proponent for leadership. Oh my goodness. So come in, have a seat, and let us talk. The great thing about leadership is that everyone can be a leader, whether it's with you or beside you, or if it's just what you have in your heart, then leadership is for you. So I am glad you are here, and just ready to talk to you about my book. So invite someone, share this post, then you will be able to be blessed and know that this book is something that's special and dear to my heart. I'm going to show you how it looks on the outside. You can get this book, my book, Access the Leader from Within. Oh my goodness, yes. And so I will be talking about this book. Go ahead and order while we chat. And this is on Amazon. So you can get it via Kindle. You can order it directly. You can do both. You can buy it for a friend. Now is a great time to get this book because it is truly talking about leadership. How many of you feel like you were called to lead? And when I say called to lead, this is beyond just a woman or man thing. Many are called to lead the church, many are called to lead their community, but many are called to also lead your family, your future, your legacy, yourself. So, uh, as we think about various ways on leadership, the book also talks about followership. Can you believe it? So followership is not the opposite of leadership, because no matter what our position is or what we're doing in our life, we will have to be a follower. Am I right? Can you raise your hand and say yes, praise God? You will not always be a leader in your life. Many leaders became great leaders because they were good followers. They had good mentors. They had people who were willing to mentor them and show them the way. So when we talk about mentorship, leadership, it includes followership, which I will also talk about. So I'm going to show you where you can find it on Amazon. Also, I did put it in the link in the description to this video. So you can find it on Amazon. You can get the Kindle version, the paperback version, and it will get sent to you. If you have Kindle Unlimited, meaning that you already subscribe, you can watch it, look at it for free. You can share it to someone who you feel like would appreciate it. But I also would love if you just purchase it. Just that would be a blessing. Okay, so in my book, I'll screen share that again. The great thing about it is that you can get a sneak peek of what's inside of my book. And the reason for the title is, are you called to lead? That's the number one question that you may be considering going into 2022. Am I a leader? Have I been called? Have I called my own self to lead? Because some people call themselves, and you can't always call yourself to lead. You may be in a follower, your season of followership, so maybe not time for you to lead yet. But if you're thinking about being a leader, this is a great book to carry you into 2022. It is by me, so you can look up my name. And like I said, it's live, you can see it, and we'll go through the couple of chapters. And you will see, like, from my forward and my dedication, this book is dedicated to my children, okay? To my children, because I had this book almost done, ready to publish in 2018, almost. got so many denials about publishing and changing and modifying things. And sometimes when you modify yourself, you can't modify yourself to please the world. You have to do and be true to yourself. So it's really important to be true to yourself as you think about being a leader. But also, this is dedicated to my mom and dad, my grandparents, my great great grandparents, my great 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 grandparents, my ancestors, because I think it's just important to acknowledge the people who have come before us. Our forefathers, they went through so much for me to be here. So how could I not just say thank you to them who helped carry me forward? Also, this will be on my YouTube channel. I'm still in the process of getting it updated. So this intro and discussion about my book will also be on YouTube, and I'll post that as well. And this just gives a quick forward about my book to talk about things that, how I set the platform and the blueprint for my book. My book does have 14 chapters. And again, this is the Kindle version. And so in the Kindle version, it's a little bit different. You can click on the chapters and jump right to it. The paperback book is meant for you to actually write in the book, write your thoughts, write your feelings, have reflections at the end of the chapter. So the paperback book is really good, and I recommend getting the paperback because it's really interactive. You can write in it, put your thoughts in it, highlight it and mark it up. So no matter what your pleasure is, because Kindle, the nice thing about Kindle is you can also scroll up on your Kindle, highlight it, make comments and come back to it. But there's something about paper where you just get it and write it and can write out all your feelings. There's just something about having a paper copy or a paper version to be able to just get it all out of you. So the first chapter, which you can get a sneak peek of, and it gives you the first full chapter free on Amazon, so you can read through it. And so it's called Wake Up and Lead. Wake Up and Lead. And the reason why I chose this to wake up and lead is because when you're thinking about waking up and leading, 2021 is over tonight. At the stroke of midnight, 2021 will be gone, and we'll be in 2022. So wake up and lead really is a call out. It's a cry, because there's such a need in our community for leaders. There's so many followers. There's so many people trying to do what someone else is doing, but we need leaders. So when you hear that alarm clock waking you up on, maybe it's not tomorrow, maybe it's Tuesday, maybe it's Wednesday, whenever you decide to go back to work, or if you work for yourself, whenever you set your alarm clock, that is the wake up call. As I mentioned, I have had this book in progress since 2018. That was finished. I started probably back in 2013 writing it, and so many things of life started adding to this book. And so when adding to this book, when I finally finished here in 2021, there are many newer things that were added, many things that happened in my life as I was writing the book that I had to go back and add to it, but nonetheless, it was still the same. So the call for you, if you're watching this, if you're skimming by the page, if you happen to pop up, if you're one of my friends, I thank you for being here, because you are probably a leader in some capacity. And one thing I'm known for me and my community is being able to help mold and shape leaders. There's many people who wonder, like, am I a natural leader? Can it be developed? And we talk about that in the book. I talk about that in the book. No matter if you feel like you were born leader or you're needing to develop your skills to be a leader, if it is the desire in your heart, if God has called you to lead, then you can truly be a leader. Now, that does not mean you're going to be the perfect, great, wonderful leader, does it? It doesn't mean that you're going to just jump out the ship and lead. No, it doesn't. It means that you can equip yourself to be the best leader. Okay. So the next chapter is the basics of leadership. Although you already may be leading in some capacity, that does not mean that you are a great, effective leader. It doesn't mean that you're a good leader, because there's many people who have called themselves to lead or just leading because that's what they did for the past 20 years, or even if you're a new leader and you just started the path of leadership, you need to know the basics of how to get your leadership, know what your style is, know what your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities are, so that you can be the leader that you're called to be. And even if you don't feel like you're called to be a leader right now, this book will be a great foundation to what you want to be as a leader. Okay, so this will set you in a foundation of what you need. Healing from within. Can we talk about healing for one moment? So healing, when you're a leader, you can lead, you can work on your leadership, you can know what it is to be a leader, but sometimes there's things that you need to heal from, because everyone has not had a good example of leadership. Everyone may not have had a good of background or a childhood or an adulthood that you truly want to be in your life, right? Maybe there's some things that you didn't have a happy childhood, or there's some scarring from that, or there's some pain and anguish. The great thing is you need to know how to heal from that so you can help lead others. Now, not saying that if you have not healed from that, that you can't be a great leader, yes. But the reality is, as you lead, one thing it opens you up for is exposure to weaknesses. Oh my goodness. So if you think that you can't be a leader because you have some skeletons hidden or whatever, girl, boy, man, woman, go ahead and lead, because leadership will expose you and make you vulnerable. Whatever you thought you needed to work on or improve on, especially if you're a public figure. Many of you know I'm an elected official, or was an elected official. My duties are up January the 6th, praise God. And so in the public eye, the public will judge you. Even with a simple post on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, you will be judged if you are a leader. So leadership is not for the faint at heart. So it's important to heal those things within you, get the confidence up. So when you do lead, people who try to attack your character, who try to attack what you're saying that you know is positive and good, when people come to attack that, you will be ready for that attack. Because, you know, many people say, you know, that you're about to make something big when the devil start attacking. You know, every new level you go on, the devil comes to seek and destroy and to put you down. And so this chapter 3, will help you to understand what those challenges may be and to overcome them. The next one, chapter 4, discovering your inner strength. So inner strength comes when you least expect it. And I'm sure as an adult, you've had to tap into that inner strength. So take a moment and think, what was the most challenging thing that you've overcome in your life? What is something that, despite all obstacles, you overcame? There have been many, many, many in my life, because I'm over 35, right? And I'm over 45, right? So being an adult really challenges you. Every decade is going to be a challenge, but how will you overcome it? What will you do to succeed? But tap into that inner self to pull it out. So I do believe that it's important to pray to God, to seek counseling, to get mentors, and you can do all of that outer stuff, but it comes back to doing it in yourself. The Bible even said, faith without works is dead. You can't just say, I have faith, and then sit there. I mean, it may happen. It may, for some people it may, but that's just the small few that it could happen for. It may not be you. So we cannot wait on chance. You sitting at home saying, oh, I wish I had my book published. Oh, I wish I could be the CEO. Honey, you still have to do something. You still have to make moves. You still have to go out there and apply yourself. So working on that inner self is really important. Chapter 5, write your vision. In this chapter and throughout the book, I do talk so many times about my personal story. So you'll hear my personal stories about my kids, my family, my grandma, stories that have resonated with me to design my vision for my life. The vision that I have for my life is not the same that I had when I was graduating from high school, when I graduated from college, when I turned 30, when I became a mom, when I became a wife, when I became a caretaker, all of these things change throughout life. And the reality thing about life is change is necessary and it will happen whether you want to or not. My favorite sayings to people is, you will be a year older whether you decide to do nothing at all towards your vision next year or everything you can towards your personal vision. And so that chapter talks about vision setting. That's a really heavy chapter in writing and documenting your thoughts in your book. And on the Kindle version, it will just give you a little space because in the Kindle, you can write on the screen, but I want you to take a sheet of paper and write it out yourself. Write in your journal, write it on a sheet of paper, write it somewhere where you can cast your vision. One thing that I'm not doing it this year, but I traditionally do is hold a New Year's Eve day or a New Year's Day brainstorming or vision poster party. I'm not doing it this year. COVID again is taking many out, and I'm not the one for gathering in big quantities right now. So what I encourage you to do is still set your vision. Write your vision down, make it plain, grab a copy of my book, turn to chapter 4, because you don't have to necessarily read my book in order. You can skip around for each chapter if you wish. But the great thing is skip to chapter 4 and set your vision. Okay. Next, let's talk about chapter 5. Chapter 5 is chapter 6 is writing your vision. Chapter 5 is finding your purpose. And chapter 7 is mind over matter. Okay. So in chapter 7, we talk a lot about mind over matter, because many things in your mind will stop you and feel stagnant. One of the things that COVID has brought on is many people have become depressed and sad and discouraged about the future. So your mind is a powerful thing and it controls a lot of things that you do. But you have to convince your mind that no matter what is going on around you, you can get up and do it. So that chapter talks about mind over matter, and it will really dig into the important part of overcoming those mind games that you play with yourself to be a great leader. The next one is 8, the path for success. Because many books I found and lecture series will hype you up to be leaders. It will say, you can do it. Okay, now go. And you're like, go do what? How? When? Where? With who? So that chapter 8 talks about defining that path for your success. And as I talk about, I'm really heavy on leadership, mentoring, ownership, finding people who are around you with like minds. The most important thing that someone taught me is, if you hang around millionaires, 4 millionaires, you'll be the 5th. If you hang around 4 people who are broke or never have without money, guess what? You'll be the 5th person without money and without, okay? Because we are like the people we hang around. We are like people we hang around. So this coming year, 2022, commit to changing your circle, commit to changing who you are around, commit to creating a path to success. And again, when you purchase my book off of Amazon under Dr. Stacey Yeager, and yes, I have a bio on there because this will not be my first book that I'm publishing. There'll be more to come already in the works so that you can continue your path to leadership. And the important thing is, your path is your path. Do not compare your path to other people, because no one has the same background as you. Okay. So 9, empower yourself. Empowerment. Oh my goodness. Empower, envision, do more for yourself. 2022 is about you. So 2022 is all about you. This is the year of you. This is the year to celebrate you. This year, empower you, empower yourself. Be true to yourself. So 2022 is my year of you. That's the word for the year that I've chosen is you. If you don't have your mind, body, and soul together, then it's hard to lead others. It's hard to lead yourself. It just makes life a little hard. So 2022, we really want you to focus on you. What does that mean? That does not mean be selfish and neglect the other responsibilities. That's not what I'm saying, but it's about being true to yourself, finding your love, finding your passion. And in my book, it essentially will tell you how to find you, how to direct yourself, how to be true to yourself. Chapter 10, equipping yourself to lead. Equipping yourself to lead. When we think about equipping ourselves, you know, in the Bible, it talks about putting on the whole armor of God so that you're prepared for anything that may come your way. And it's similar to that because you have to be prepared for everything that will come your way as you're leading. So as you're equipping yourself, that means get the right tools you need, get the right people on board. Whatever your weaknesses were, and this is a chapter that you can't skip around because it builds up upon the other chapters. But this chapter truly talks about what is your strengths and weaknesses. If you are not good at math, you need an accountant. Even if you are good at math, but it's not your specialty, get someone who can account and audit your records. If you're someone who's not good at writing, find someone who is, lean on to them so that you can be a better writer. If anything that you're lacking, trust me, you see all those people on Facebook. I have about 5,000 people, friends on my Facebook page. I'm sure that one of those 5,000 people can lead me. Okay, maybe you don't have 5,000 people on your Facebook page. Maybe you have 1,000, maybe you have 500. I'm pretty sure that within your group or circle of 500 people or whoever claim to be followers on your Facebook page has something that you need. And if they do not, listen clearly, if they do not, that means it's time for you to go and find them. It's really important in life. The sooner you learn it, the better your life will be. You have to create your own circle. You create your own family, your own circle of friends. You have to create that. Sometimes it just kind of works together. You know, many people I'm in college with, friends with, high school, still friends with, and we have a collective unit together, but I had to expand. You know, I'm also part of my Mary Kay family, and my Mary Kay family ranges all the way from Georgia. Hey, Mary Kay ladies who are on my team or who I'm part of, to California, to North Carolina, to Michigan, to Texas, everywhere. And so I had to create, when I was learning about leadership, because I did do my leadership research on the Mary Kay organization. Isn't that awesome? Mary Kay has a lot of studies that have been done about Mary Kay Corporation to talk about leadership, to talk about guidance, to be a leader. I always tell people, if you truly want to be a leader, if you truly want to learn the foundations of leadership, be a Mary Kay consultant. That will tell you about leaning, about grits, about what things you need to do to be successful before you launch your own business. Join Mary Kay. See how it's structured. See the business accolades. See how the company was built, because there's strength in learning from organizations who have been around year after year. Mary Kay has been in existence for over 65 years. So learn from companies that are still around, still in existence, see what they do and change, and their leadership and their followership. And it's just amazing. But yes, a whole dissertation about it. Okay, the next chapter that we'll talk about is chapter 11, Faithful Leadership. Faithful leadership. So I wrote this area, I think, right around the time, maybe when I was elected as an official, or I'm not quite sure where I was in my life when I wrote this chapter, but there were many times where my leadership faithfulness was challenged. And actually, I do remember now, this is a chapter that I started writing, I stopped writing, and I picked back up because so many things in leadership had changed. In 2028, 2018, when I started picking up the book and it should have been published, that's when I was elected, which delayed a lot of things because I didn't want it to seem too politically minded or inspired or what have you. So I said, soon as I'm done with this election and I'm done with leading, I will publish my book. Similar to, President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama, they waited until after they had, been elected and their term was up to write a book. Many times you will see that many people will write a book after their term is over because you've learned so much through the process, but you can't give away or say what you really feel. That's politics. You can't say what you really feel all the time. You have to have some discretion, pull it in to still keep that respect on you. So faithfulness and leadership talks a lot about how to stay faithful when things go wrong, how to stay faithful to the leadership when it doesn't go as you plan. There's a study that said that many pastors have stepped down from the church since COVID just because of the heavy burden and expectations that they are expected to go by because of the pandemic. And many pastors have lost their lives because they attended funerals and visited people and things of that nature because they were pastors and leaders. There's many sacrifices you make as a leader. So your vision, your goals, your attainment, it will be tested as a leader. So this chapter shows you how to be faithful when you are tested. Okay, the next one is follow the leader. When I started talking about followership, everyone gives me like a weird look. Followership. I don't want to be a follower. I want to be a leader. Well, the reality is you have to follow in all aspects of your life. There's no aspect of your life where you are not following someone. If you say, I'm not a follower, I'm a leader wherever I go. Okay, well, get in your car, go to a destination, and you realize you're not the first one who's on that turnpike. You're not the first one going down the street. Okay, so maybe some of y'all were in the middle of nowhere, okay? But those are not my followers. Y'all are usually in a bigger city with more cars, okay? Anyway, even if you are in a little town and you say, I'm the first one out, you didn't design the road, someone else did. Okay, when you have a new idea, I guarantee you it's not the very, very first idea. Someone had it, someone may think about it, someone may have thought about doing it. The difference between them and you is you are deciding to execute it, where someone else may decide to just think about it. The best ideas, the greatest ideas are in the graveyard and cemetery because many people die with their dreams rather than actually live and fulfill them, okay? So commit to 2022, grab my book, Awaken the Leader from Within, off of Amazon, and you will be able to enhance your 2022. Let's talk about a couple of more chapters. So the next chapter is create a master plan. So creating a master plan is, and again, referring back to the Bible, if you make a plan, if you write down your plan, the chances of it coming to pass is greater than if you just keep it in your mind. If you write it down, plaster it everywhere, sit down, come up with your vision, it will more than likely come to pass if you work toward it. Now, that's not to say 100% of the time it will always come true. That's not what we're saying. What I'm saying is at least write it down, set your vision, make the vision poster, find that leader from within and make yourself sit down and do what needs to be done. One of the biggest things that steals dream is procrastination. Oh, I'm going to do it next week. I'm going to do it next month, next year, next whatever. Okay, remember when we started in 2021, all those goals and visions and dreams and desires that you started, did you do 100% of them? Did you do 100% of them? If you did, way to go. Good for you. How did you do it? Probably with a vision or goal poster. It probably was on a checklist or a bucket list. It probably was someplace where you saw it. My goal, and I have it on my vision board, was to publish my book. By the end of 2021, I said my book will be published. It will be out there. It will be available for people to help them become leaders. Vision checked. Get my health in order, exercise, do better, do great, check. Travel more. Okay, I traveled a little bit, but I didn't travel as much as I wanted to because of the COVID. But at least I did travel and make intentional steps to plan vacations, whether it was in state, stay home, a little bit out of state. Still, I did something. So write something down, create that vision. And with my book, it tells you step by step on how you can actually set the vision. Awaken the Leader from Within by Dr. Stacey Yeager is available on Amazon. This is the exclusive place where you can get my book. The last chapter I want to talk about is Go and Lead. Go and Lead. So this book has 14 key steps, 14 key chapters that will help you tap into your leadership. The way how I came up with the 14 is I sat down and I wrote down, what do people need to lead? What are the commonly asked questions from new leaders when they come and ask me questions? How can I lead? What can I do better? How can I do this or that? How can I start my own organization? How can I create my own LLC? How can I build my organization? How can I have more people who can be true to my organization? So many questions. And so I wrote the steps down without any attention to how many. Then I started labeling my chapters, and then I build up on my chapters, and now you have the book. And the great thing about the book is that it truly gets to the heart of where I am. I not only wrote this book for myself, but even when I think about what my ancestors went through coming to the United States, not because they wanted to take a nice leisurely trip, but because both ancestors on both of my mother and father's side came here by force, being enslaved. What helped them to survive? What helped them to keep moving forward? What helped them to sacrifice their lives so eventually we would get here? And my grandmother is a great example. She is not one to fuss, fight, argue if, something is done wrong or someone does her wrong or whatever in a situation. She won't argue and talk back and bark back, right? My grandfather's side, on the other hand, he's a little more feisty and he didn't take a lot. And so it was my grandmother, Mighty. Her name is Mighty. And she was not the one to just let people get over. She owned property, she owned land, she had her own business. And I'm thinking, wow, the things that my grandparents went through eventually is what made me. And it's still inside of me. It still runs in my blood and veins. And I'm like, how could they have led back then, yet I not lead to where I am now? So I'm excited to have you read the book so you too can be the leader. Somewhere in your vein, in your body, you're listening to this message about my book and it radiates within you. Go ahead and grab a copy, grab 3 or 4 copies. It's great to pass out the office. It's a great gift for others just to be able to know how to truly lead. And if you have questions or comments or thoughts about the book, feel free to comment on Amazon, write about it, think about it, score me on Amazon, give me feedback. I would love to hear your thoughts. And I look forward to giving you more insights about leadership 2022. A new page, a new life, anything. And you can follow me on social media at Dr. Stacey is my social media handle. And you'll be able to find me wherever I am. So thank you for taking time out. I look forward to helping you lead yourself in 2022. With that, thanks for your time.